Hey y'all. So I'm going to return back to Deuteronomy verse 20. So the word says that when your sons ask about the testimonies and the precepts and the commands, statutes, which the Lord our God has commanded you. This is a perfect example of life in the classroom. And this is something that Bill says in his book, Israel created a culture where children became curious about God, and they naturally had questions about the wonders he had done, his statutes, and his judgments. And so it wasn't like these big moments came up and it was, oh, well, son, it's time for us to have a conversation. And it was a monologue that they have to listen to, and that we're just preaching at them or just giving them so much instructions. But instead, it was a part of the culture. Go back to Deuteronomy 6:7, and he says, you shall impress them upon their minds and the hearts of your children. You shall talk of them when you sit in your house, and when you walk by the way, when you lie down, and when you rise up. That's everyday life. And so Israel had created a culture where the children heard about the stories and the testimonies of the goodness of God, and they became naturally curious. And so that's part of the classical conversations model, which is what we do at school. The classical model is that first, they just learn new grammar. They learn the words. It's like vocabulary, basically, and memorization. And then as they become older, they begin to ask questions about the grammar and the vocabulary and the words that they've learned. And then when they become older, they begin to develop their own opinions. And then they can debate and articulately explain those principles, teachings, and instructions. And let's see if I can go back. It was going to go back to Deuteronomy 6. So he says, when your son asks you in time to come, what is the meaning of the testimonies, the statutes, and precepts that the Lord has commanded you, then you shall say to your son, we were Pharaoh's bondmen in Egypt, and the Lord brought us out of Egypt with a mighty hand. And the Lord showed signs and wonders, great and evil, against Egypt, against Pharaoh and all his household, before our eyes. And he brought us out from there, that he might bring us into and give us the land that he swore to give to our fathers. And the Lord commanded us to do all these statutes and reverently fear the Lord our God for our good always, that he might preserve us alive as it is this day. And it'll be accounted as righteousness for us if we are watchful to do this before the Lord as he has commanded us. So see, when your children, those opportunities present themselves, and then they begin to question, what does it mean? And then we say, oh, we were slaves. We were bondmen. And the Lord delivered us. You know, there was that one time growing up that when you were little, we were in a really, really hard place. And this is what was going on. And the Lord delivered us. And this is why we teach you and we talk to you about his goodness. Because I want you to know him like I know him. And I want you to see his hand at work in your life like I've seen his hand at work in my life. And then they begin to put all of those pieces together, and it leads them to a relationship with their good, good Father. And they become arrows in the hand of a warrior. And they become mighty men and women of God who wreak havoc on the kingdom of darkness. All because we teach. Now, that's not to say that if you didn't grow up with that you don't stand a chance. God is good. But when we know what to do, and when we know how to teach, we have a responsibility to do it. And we'll pick up here next time. I'll see y'all later. Bye.